Hello friends, this is Professor Rahul Bhavne and in the subject of heat transfer, today we are going to see what is a payback period for thermal insulation. So let us start today's video. So payback period of a thermal insulation, so it having some terminology. First is installation cost, and many time in mathematical expression we use the short form, that is installation cost, as a IC. So what is the installation cost? It include the cost of insulation material. So what will be the purchase cost of that insulating material, that is, then fridge, then taxes, then ancillaries and supporting material, then cladding, and even though labor cost also. So from the purchasing of insulating material with all taxes and other supporting required materials, and in addition to this, whatever be the labor cost, so overall installation cost of that particular insulation is known as install cost. Okay, so this is the total cost of providing any insulation to the system. So second is saving heat cost, and in short it is said SHC. These short forms may varies from book to book, but most generally it is said that saving heat cost, so SHC. Now what is this saving heat cost? Now imagine if we provide some insulation to any system, so definitely that insulation going to decrease the heat loss, and whatever be the heat lost is saved. Ultimately we require to produce that much amount less heat for the system, because otherwise it is going to loss. But now as we restricted it, so that means we require to produce a less or generate a less amount of heat, uh, according to the our saving of heat. So saving heat cost is the cost saved by a reduction of heat generation due to reduction of heat loss by using insulation. So whatever be the insulation provided, it is going to reduce the heat loss, and if it is reducing heat loss, that means we require to generate a less amount of heat for the same output, of system. So if we required a less amount of heat generation, that means we require to burn less amount of fuel. It might be a coal, it might be a gaseous, it might be a any liquid fuel. So we require to use a less amount of fuel in that case, and whatever be the less amount of fuel, so ultimately it is going to save the cost of fuel. Okay, so that is called the saving heat cost. Now on the basis of these two terminology, we can find out the payback period, and payback period is the ratio of install cost divided by saving heat cost. So what is the payback period? In short, it is say PV, payback period. It is the time period required to recover all the investment on a new upgraded insulation system. So imagine, suppose I provide some insulation having a cost of 1 lakh, including everything, that is material cost, installation cost, labor cost, everything. So suppose that about 1 lakh cost is there, and by providing that insulation each year, I saved about 20,000 on the heat generation. So in this way, my total investment is 1 lakh, and each year I am saving 20,000. So I required 5 years to recover my whole investment, that is 1 lakh. So each year 20,000, next year 20,000. Likewise, after 5 years, I will be in the position where I recover my complete investment of 1 lakh. Then after 5 years, whatever be the 20,000 saving is there, that is my net profit. So payback period is the period where we recover all our investment, and always payback period is calculated on the basis of year, annum. Okay. So let us see one numerical. So our idea will be clear. So numerical on payback periods. So the statement is energy audit data on a 30 centimeter hot water pipe. So that means that this is a hot water pipe. So water pipe is going to dissipate heat to the surrounding. Correct? So outer diameter of that pipe is 30 centimeter. Now suppose that hot pipe is there in a room. So outer surface of hot pipe will be dissipate heat by two way. One is by surrounding air, it is come in a contact of outer surface of pipe and convected out. So there will be a heat loss by convection. Secondly, outer surface will directly radiate heat. So second part of heat loss is by radiation. So in this particular case, the total heat loss will be by convection plus by radiation. So let us see further what is the statement. So energy audit data on a 30 centimeter hot water pipe distributing to various process equipment indicate an average surface of 180 degrees centigrade. So this is the outer surface temperature of pipe. An average temperature of air is 38 degrees centigrade. So surrounding to this pipe there is a air and it having a 38 degrees centigrade. So T infinity is 38 degrees centigrade. The pipe length is 2.5 meter. Calculate the present heat loss. That means when we don't provide any kind of insulation, so what is the heat loss? So calculate the present heat loss and the saving possible if the pipe is insulated with 3 centimeter thick fiberglass insulation. So previously there is no insulation. When we provide a insulation of fiberglass, then we wound that pipe till the thickness become 3 centimeter. So if I wound a pipe by any insulation, so definitely now the radius is increased. Okay. So 3 centimeter thick fiberglass insulation having thermal conductivity 0.3. So insulation material thermal conductivity 0.3 watt per meter Kelvin. What will be the simple payback if the total cost of providing the insulation is rupees 5,000? Okay, so they provide the total cost. In many numericals they may provide in a separate categories, just like a material cost, labor cost, installation cost, and supporting material cost. So we have to add all the costs, so that becomes the total insulation cost. Consider the hot water generation is through a gas fire boiler. Okay, so they use fuel as a gaseous fuel, and that gas fire boiler operating at 60% efficiency. So this is a very important parameter, 60% efficiency. What it means, suppose I burn 10 kg of gas. Okay, so that boiler is at 60% efficiency. That means out of 10 kg of gas, 4 kg gas burning heat for my system, and remaining 4 kg of gas burning is directly wasted because of that system, boiler having such kind of system. So we can't say that if I burn a 10 kg of fuel, so total it will be used by the system only. No doubt. The basic, it is a very popular example, that is Indian stove, that is wooden stove. Correct. In many villages it is used. So they having Indian stove where they burn a wood, and on that stove they cook a food. So if you found, so lot of heat is wasted and some part of it is actually transferred to that container. Okay, so likewise, if I saying boiler is at 60%, so whenever I burn any fuel, so about 60% only is utilized for boiler and 40% is directly wasting. Okay, and using a natural gas at rupees 40 per kg, so they provide a cost of fuel 40 rupees per kg. Take convective heat transfer coefficient is 1.27 watt per meter square Kelvin, and emissivity, that's mean definitely they want to consider a emissive part, that is radiation part. The emissivity is 0.9 and calorific value of fuel is 35,000 kilojoule per kg. So this is the total statement. From this we have to calculate our payback period. So they provide a diameter of pipe. If a diameter is 30 centimeters, so it becomes 0.3 meter diameter. So from this radius will be 0.15 meter. Then surface temperature is at 180 degrees centigrade when insulation is not provided. So this is the temperature of outer surface of pipe. Then surrounding air temperature 38 degrees centigrade. Length of pipe 2.5. Insulation thickness is 3 centimeter. That's why in meter it is 0.03 meter thickness. Thermal conductivity of insulating material 0.3. Then total installation cost, that is 5 lakh. Boiler efficiency 60%. Fuel cost rupees 40 per kg. Convective coefficient of surrounding air is 1.27. Emissivity 0.9. Calorific value of fuel 35,000 kilojoule per kg, and we have to calculate a payback period. So to calculate the payback period, we must know the installation cost. It is directly given 5 lakh. So we have to calculate the saving heat cost. So by providing insulation, how much heat will save and how much is the cost of that saving. So we must know the saving heat cost. For saving heat cost, first we will consider when there is no insulation. So total heat loss when there is no insulation. So in that case, Q, when no insulation, will be, when there is no insulation, that means the surrounding air will come in a contact of outer surface of pipe and carry out heat as a convection, and there is a emissivity given, that means some part of heat is directly radiated from the surface, pipe surface. So we have to add both convection part as well as radiation part. So total heat loss when there is no insulation is H surface area of pipe T surface of pipe minus T infinity plus radiation sigma, that is Stefan Boltzmann constant, surface area, emissivity, T surface raised to the power 4 minus T infinity raised to the power 4. Remember friends, whenever there is a radiation part, so we have to put the temperature in terms of Kelvin only. So for this numerical, we will put the temperatures in Kelvin. So area of pipe, so area of pipe surface area, it will become 2 pi r1 multiply by length of pipe. So this is the surface area of pipe, Ts minus T infinity plus sigma 2 pi r1 L, again surface area of pipe, emissivity Ts raised to the power 4 minus T infinity raised to the power 4. Now put the given numerical values. So we have the values of H, R1 we know 0.15, length of pipe is 2.5, T surface is known, T infinity is known. So likewise we have all the numericals value. So after calculating, we come to know that when there is a no insulation, total heat loss from that pipe is 4363.36 watt. This is the current condition when there is no insulation. So this much amount of heat is actually lost. before insulation. Now, what happens if we provide insulation? So definitely heat loss should be reduced. Okay. So second case, when we provide insulation. So when we provide insulation, so insulation thickness is 3 centimeter, and when I wound the insulation, so now pipe surface is not directly exposed for convection or radiation. Now the insulation outer surface is in contact with surrounding air, and insulation surface will uh, play a role in convection. For radiation also, it will assume that the outer surface of insulation is radiating heat. Okay, so after providing insulation, suppose that the insulation outer surface reach to a temperature T1. Pipe surface is at surface temperature, that we know how much it is. Surrounding air temperature, it is a fluid temperature. Now after providing insulation, so insulation outer surface, imagines it is reached to the temperature T1 and thickness is 3 centimeter. So if I provide insulation, so what is the now new radius of pipe? So R2 is pipe radius plus thickness of insulation. So pipe radius is 0.15, thickness of insulation is 0.03. So now the after insulation radius of surface, that pipe become 0.18. Outer surface radius is 0.18 meter. Now when there is a insulation, so heat will transfer from pipe surface to outer surface of insulation by conduction. Okay, conduction through that insulating wounding. So from pipe surface to outer surface of insulation, there will be a conduction. So conduction from R1 to R2, and whatever be the amount of heat conducted from pipe surface to insulation surface, then the heat reach to outer surface of insulation will be conveyed out and radiated out. So total heat conducted from pipe surface to insulation, that is R1 to R2, must be equal to heat convected out from R2, outer surface of insulation, plus heat radiated out from R2. Okay. So conduction formula we know, basic formula dt by R total. So it is a cylindrical section. So what is the dt? So T surface minus T1, and conduction resistance will be ln of R2 upon R1 divided by 2 pi Lk is equals to now convection part. Convection part from insulation outer surface. So H 2 pi R2L, this time now R2, and temperature difference is T1, outer surface temperature of insulation, minus T infinity. In the same manner, sigma 2 pi R2L into emissivity T1 raised to the power 4 minus T infinity raised to the power 4. Now this time they don't provide a emissivity of insulating material, so we assume the emissivity remains same, so we will use emissivity as 0.9 only. So put the all the notations and related values. So only one value is unknown, that is a T1. Okay, on both side, left hand side also T1 is unknown, on right hand side also T1 is unknown. So put all the values, simplify it as simple as possible, because this is not a regular form of our equation, because here it is T1, again T1, here T1 raised to the power 4. So what we will do, we shift all the values to one side and second side remain then 0. Now we have to adopt a trial and error method, because if it is a simple mathematical expression, then we will use any mathematical relation and find out the T1. But it is so complicated that it is not directly we get the value of T1. So there is another one method that is called trial and error method. Now, what is this trial and error method? So for this trial and error method, we have to shift all the values to one side, and second side there must be any numerical value or it may be a 0. Now what we have to do, we have to assume T1 temperature, and definitely T1 temperature will be lesser than surface temperature. So surface temperature is 180, so we will first assume 100. So this is just a trial, so we will assume a T1 temperature as 100. So accordingly we will put 100 T1 temperature, but in Kelvin. So for 100 degrees centigrade, convert into Kelvin and put as a T1 everywhere, and we will check how much is the answer. If that answer is equals to 0, then that temperature what we assume is the correct one. So we will assume that after trial and error method, T1 is 100 degrees centigrade. If the temperature is positive, that means whatever be the T1 temperature is there, it is not correct, because it is answer is not equals to 0. It is positive. So we will reduce the temperature. We will put 90 degree. Of course, we will convert into Kelvin. So T1 in Kelvin, we will again calculate and check what is the total answer. If it is negative, that means first time when we put T1 as 100 degrees centigrade, so value is positive. Second time when we put 90 degrees centigrade, then value is negative. That means our 0 will be in between 100 and 90. So we will next trial. So first 100 positive value, second 90 negative value. So next time we will put 95 and we will check the answer. So for 95, suppose the bandwidth is reduced. Likewise, we will change the T1 value and try to reach the closest to 0. Okay. So like that, when we reach closest to 0, that approximate temperature will be our value for T1, and that is called the trial and error method. So here we don't get exact numerical value. We have to do a trial and error by changing the T1, and whatever be the trial and error method, we found approximately 0 value. That is our temperature, final temperature. So after trial and error, I found 379.75 Kelvin is the about 0 degree centigrade. So when T1 become this much, the answer come about 0. So after trial and error method, I found T1 temperature is 379.75. So now I know what is the temperature of outer surface of insulation. So now I will calculate the heat loss from that particular pipe when insulation is provided. So now Q when insulation is there. So convection part, so H surface area, outer surface area of insulation, so 2 pi R2L. Now temperature difference is, so surface temperature of insulation T1 minus T infinity. So this will be convection part at radius R2. Same way at radius R2, what is the radiation part? So sigma 2 pi R2L emissivity T1 raised to the power 4. This is temperature of outer surface of insulation minus T infinity. Now put the all values, because we just calculated our T1 value. So we have now all the values calculated. So when we provide insulation, definitely our value must be lesser than without insulation. And with insulation, it is 1897.71 watt when we provide insulation. So this much amount of heat is lost. So when there is no insulation, 4363.36 watt amount of heat is lost. When we provide insulation, 1897.71 watt heat is lost. Remember, insulation never eliminate heat loss. It just reduced. So heat loss is reduced by providing insulation. So total heat save. So total heat save is heat loss when no insulation minus heat loss when insulation provided divided by efficiency of boiler. Why efficiency of boiler? Because boiler itself work on a 60%. So whatever be the fuel burn, only 60% part is utilized for that system, and 40% is itself wasting from boiler. So we have to consider the boiler efficiency. So divided by boiler efficiency. So this is the net heat saved divided by boiler efficiency. So total heat save is 4109.42 watt. Okay. Now total energy save. Suppose this is the amount of heat save. So what is the energy save per year? So this is watt. Watt means joule per second. Remember, payback period is always calculated on the basis of per year. So this is watt 4109.42. So joule per second. Convert into hours and kilojoules. So for kilojoule we divided 1000, and to convert into hours we multiply 3600. So then after, to convert into per day, once we get the value kilojoule per hour, so per day there is a 24 hours, so multiply by 24, so it will give a kilojoule per day. And in a year there is 36 days, so if we get the value of per day, so multiply by 365 days in a year. So 365 multiply, so it will give a total heat saved kilojoule per year. So year wise this much amount of heat will save. So after calculating we come to know that 1.29 into 10 raised to power 8 kilojoule per year, this much amount of heat is saved. Now heat is saved, okay, no doubt, but we pay the cost for fuel consumption. So we have to find out how much amount we saved by saving that much heat. So mass of fuel is equals to total heat saved divided by calorific value of fuel. Okay, so in general we normally use that total heat is equals to mf into cv. So this time we are interested to calculate the mass of fuel mf. So heat divided by cv, calorific value. So total heat save 1.29 into 10 to the power 8 divided by calorific value 35000. So total mass is 3702.7 kg per year. This much amount of fuel we actually save, and we are paying for this fuel at the rate of 40 rupees. So total saving heat cost is mass of fuel multiplied by fuel cost. So mass of fuel is there per year multiplying the 40 rupees. So this is the total saving heat cost 148,108 rupees per year. This much amount of rupees we saved. Now in a payback period, so we have to divide total installation cost or install cost divided by saving heat cost. So our saving heat cost having the value, and total installation cost they provided 5 lakh. So 5 lakh divided by 148,108. So after calculating we come to know that payback period is 3.37 years. That means exactly 3.37 years are required to recover all the install cost of installation, that is a 5 lakh. After this period, whatever be the heat saving is the net profit for that system. So this is our final answer. The payback period of this system is 3.37 years. Hopefully this is enough to understand what is the payback period. So thank you friends.